Trading platforms have come a long way, but listen, not all are built for modern active day traders like you. Listen, StocksToTrade, built from the ground up, like the very invention, was for active day traders. Speed, quick access to all the tools you really need, not a bunch of fluff and bloat and stuff you'll never use. I mean, I like to think of like Microsoft Excel. Hey, it's awesome, but when was the last time you used more than like 2% of the features, okay? Everything in StocksToTrade is laid out in an actionable, fast, and really detailed way to allow you to capitalize on opportunities. I mean, we need speed in these stocks that go from 20% to 100% in seconds. Getting the information you need, being able to map out the chart and do all of that is key. So I'm going to walk you through kind of the desktop, okay? This is your platform. This is your workspace, as we say. So once you launch up StocksToTrade, you're going to see right off the bat, upper left, you've got the top percent gainers. So that's always where we look for day trades, okay? Now, a lot of people will think, oh, I start with the biggest percent gainers. Yes, okay? Even in middle of the day, even end of the day, if you know the chart patterns, which we will go over and I teach all the time, these big gainers, they attract attention. More traders, more volume, more algos that are picking them up with their scans. And this is one thing you'll hear me say, and actually write this down if you're taking notes. The biggest gainers become the biggest gainers. Now, that might sound a little confusing, but when these stocks shoot up in pre or shoot up at the market open, if you can let them consolidate, watch the volume, use your indicators, so many of them have second and even third legs. And what's great about that, many of you know, it's never a good thing to kind of chase that initial move. A lot of them fail. So what happens is if you catch those big gainers on your scans and you start to see them consolidate and hold up near the highs, it's a great higher probability trade to target that second and third leg. Now, what's great with the percent gainers too, and I recommend doing this, is you can filter all of these, okay? Now, for me personally as a trader, I'm not a big fan of like the real cheap penny stocks, okay? Now, if you like 1 cent stocks, or you might not know there's thousands of a penny stocks out there, okay? I typically don't trade them. I don't like, it's just not my style, okay? So for me, I filter by 25 cents to $20, okay? Now, you could customize that any way you want. Maybe you don't care about stocks over 25 cents, okay? You can filter by that. Then I dial in and tweak some volume as well as percent gain, because if it's a day, like maybe even early in the day, I get up at 4 a.m. Eastern, market starts trading at 4 a.m. Eastern, you don't have to be there, okay? But if you are that early AM trader, you're not going to have stocks trading millions of shares that early. You got to have the day build the volume. But I can filter by volume at around 100,000, which gives me at least something that's trading real volume. It's not like 2 trades went through. Then I filter by a minimum of 15% gain, because if a stock's up 2, 3, 4, 5, 7%, don't really care about it. Those are the stocks that don't get the volume and never actually move. Now, the other thing I highly recommend, I like to see everything, but you can also filter by float. Okay, if you watch some of the videos on the channel, we love these low float stocks. You can specifically look for just big gainers with volume and low float. And especially if you're under the PDT or you're really busy and you can only trade a few times a day, or a few times a week, maybe, if you're under the PDT. What's great about the filters is it gives you the stocks with the best potential. So if you filter these down and there's just nothing on the scan, well, focus on your day job that day. Run some errands, okay? Successful trading isn't a video game. It's not shooting everything that moves. It's capitalizing on the best opportunities. So you can drill all that down, and most days, if you filter those down, you're going to have less than 5 stocks on that scan, which is perfect, okay? Especially, again, if you're part-time. You can't sit there and try and follow 50 stocks or 100 stocks. Use the power of the scans. So the great thing about the new high-a-day scan is exactly that. So if you're always trying to catch these stocks that are pushing, breaking through resistance levels, you'll notice that as this is cycling through, like let me grab a stock that just hit, okay? Here's one IVVD, okay? You can see it just went red to green and hit the high of the day. Here's another one, EOSE. This thing's been a former runner a lot of times. energy stock, oil and gas stocks are cropping up. So each time this prints a new high a day, it's reflected on that new high a day scan. Indispensable in pre-market, okay? Absolutely indispensable, because if you think about pre-market, not much going on, okay? And if stocks aren't perking, as we call it, you know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna watch 1,000 stocks that are just kind of grinding sideways? You wanna find the ones that push. Now, doesn't mean you just automatically buy them, but what you can do is when you see those stocks pushing, you can start setting, you know, alerts or dropping your lines looking for those dip buys, which is great. You know, after the market opens, those big runners that keep print, pull back, you buy the pullback, and that's your trade. So as always, much like with the top percent gainers, we can also filter, okay? You just hit that little wrench, filter down, and the cool thing is you can even have StocksToTrade alert you when those new stocks have news, okay? You'll get an audible alert if there's new news out. A lot of great customization that you can do. Next is Watchlist, okay? Obviously, hopefully you're all building Watchlists. I've got a bunch of videos on the channel on how to build a watch list, as well as the rolling watch list methodology we use to look for multi-day movers, okay? You know, I know I'm kind of speaking to a lot of you that are tight on time, but I know most of you are. Most of you are part-time traders. So with the rolling watch list methodology, we can capitalize on those multi-day runners, which we love because, again, they don't happen as often, but the follow-through rate is incredible, like when you can catch those multi-day movers. So then as we proceed through the screen, you see we have full charting, everything is real time, okay? Nothing's delayed. Definitely check what, you know, sites you're using or even your broker. If you got delayed data, you need StocksToTrade, okay? If you're trading these fast-moving stocks, like if you're swing trading Apple or Microsoft or something, I still wouldn't trade with delayed data, but it's not the end of the world. If you're trading these fast movers, you need up-to-date, real-time information, full level 2, full level 1 to know what this stock is doing. If you're playing from 5 minutes ago, it's not going to be good, okay? So you have full stocks or full charting, multiple time frames. I recommend using the 2-day, 5-minute, the 2-month, 15-minute, and the 1-year, 1 day. What's great about StocksTrade, all 3 of these time frames, I can actually link them together, okay? So if you notice, I've got it linked by color. You can choose your color. One of my favorite colors is red, matches my tie. But you can link these all together. So if I grab a stock over here, like let's say BBAI, now that stock is reflected across all 3 time frames. So my zoomed in 2-minute or 5-minute 2-day, my 2-month chart, as well as my yearly chart. And then if I grab another one over here on my watch list, all of those are color linked. All 3 of my time frames update real time. So then we have full technical indicators, okay? If you go here, I mean, I won't go through them all, tons of them, but I mean, everything you need. You know, EMAs and SMAs are really hot right now. It's kind of trendy. You can add those. Obviously, we always use VWAP. As I mentioned, check out the channel for the importance of VWAP. You have to have VWAP on your chart, and you have to have real-time VWAP. And then Fibonacci's and all down the line, okay? Add as many indicators as you want, and all easy to do. Alerts on the chart, love to set price alerts. With StocksToTrade, you can just right-click, go to add an alert. So if you're looking for that stock to pull back to a level for that dip buy, you get a notification, it dipped. If you're trading a breakout, you can set it to the upside, trade the breakout. Then we rotate down through, you've got the basics box, okay? Might sound basic, but all the, you know, I basically designed the layout of the basics box, and it's all some of the most important information, okay, in one spot, every chart updated real time. You know, you see the days range, you see the previous day's close, very handy for trading those red to green type moves. You got the daily volume, floats right there, 52-week breakout, everything you need for just real quick access. Then we're over to level 2. I know I kind of keep mentioning this, but if you're unfamiliar with level 2, check out other videos on the channel. Have to have level 2 for day trading. You have to know what the real-time bid and ask are, what the size is. You can look for those big sellers. You know, if you're long a stock and you start seeing a bunch of big sellers show up on the ask, that might be telling you, hey, I'm going to take my small profits because the sell side is overweighted. Same with on the bid side. If there's a bunch of big buyers and you're long the stock, you might get a little more confidence and be like, hey, the big guys are riding this wave with me, okay? Vice versa, if the stock's starting to go against you, you see it flip and the sellers start coming in, that's when you cut it, take that small loss because you don't want to ride that wave to the downside. You can see full size, all the market makers, color coded by price, everything real time, as well as the consolidated view, which I really like. I mean, I'm not necessarily looking at specific market makers. I just want to know what's the bid size, what's the ask size. That's something that a lot of brokerages actually don't have. You kind of have to add up all the market makers to get the total aggregate size. It's added up for you. That way I can see, I got a big buyer or big bidder, 20,000 shares on BBAI, kind of offset on the sell side, gives me a little bit more confidence. Then you proceed over to the level 1. Level 1 is the tape, okay? That is the actual consummated trades on that stock. So remember, level 2 is the auction. Level 2 is, buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. What happens when those buyers and sellers come together, consummate a trade, that's reflected on the level 2. You can see the size of the trade. You can see if it was an uptick or a downtick. So we really like to watch that. Again, if you see I call it like a waterfall of sellers where all the transactions are red, that's meaning that those transactions are taking on a downtick. So each time that level 1 prints in the red, it is printed at a lower price. And if you start seeing that waterfall of red, it's like, whoa, the momentum shift. Now on the bullish side, if you start seeing all these transactions taking place and they're reflected in green, that means the stock is trading in an uptick. And you see that waterfall to the upside in the green, again, gives you more confidence. Last thing you'll notice a lot of these transactions going through is white. That simply means that the last price that the stock traded at was unchanged from the previous price. Last thing you'll see, some of them are highlighted, kind of in almost like a kind of gold color. That shows you big trades, okay? So now you can see a big trade that's green. Well, that's a big buyer that just smacked the ask. Vice versa, you see a trade highlighted and it's red, then a big seller just stepped in. So it can really help you guide real-time sentiment. Then the last is the info box, okay? Everything you need. News, SEC filings. Actually, you can drill into our chat rooms and see what people are talking about on that stock. All the key statistics, fundamentals. You can actually trade from here using the order box. And a very handy feature that I don't talk about a lot, the related tab. Related tab actually gives you a full list of stocks that are in the same sector. So you can look for those sympathy plays, as we call them. Then you can even take notes. I mean, you can even drop in notes that will be linked to that specific stock. So that being said, my friends, I only showed you probably 10% of the features in StocksToTrade, but that shows you how advanced it is. Everything real time and super fast, quick access. It is the best trading platform. So based on what I showed you of the 10%, what's your favorite feature? And if you're a current StocksToTrade feature, what would you like to see? Or if you've never used it, what do you want to see in trading platforms? If you drop that in the comments, I bet you I'll probably reply to you and be like, hey, StocksToTrade has that, okay? So my friends, if you like the look of it, you like the way it's set up, you like all of the efficiency, check out the Daily Income Trader system. The cool thing about the Daily Income Trader system is not only do you get live mentoring every single day, you get included in the system full unrestricted access to StocksToTrade, to the platform. So it's not just mentoring, it's not just trade alerts. You get the platform, everything unlocked, okay? You get Oracle unlocked, you get breaking news unlocked, full real-time level 2, every single feature unlocked. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link below. Go to a free webinar showing you everything in the Daily Income Trader system, and I hope to see you there.